What's up? Big Herc 916, Muscle Up. Over here we talk about nothing but cars. Your love for cars, your passion for cars, and just cars. You know, the car lifestyle is such a cool lifestyle because it brings together so many different demographics of people. Whether you're into lowriders, whether you're into JDM, you're into muscle cars, you're into exotics, you're into old schools, whatever you're into, if you're a car guy, you'll have something to talk about with another car guy. There's usually some type of neutral ground on which you can talk about cars and enjoy a good conversation. That's what I like about that culture, the car culture. Such a cool, diverse group of people. You know, when I go to some car shows and I see people act a certain way because they drive a certain car, I just kind of got to laugh at them because you can tell they're not real car guys. They just maybe got into cars the last couple of years because the internet became popular and they bought whatever was cool because they could get a jacket with that car and feel that they're part of a clique. But being a car guy is more than buying the latest cool car on the internet and a jacket or a hat. It's in your blood, man. It's in your heart. Maybe you experience, changing a tire when you were a kid, or adjusting a valve cover, changing brakes, draining the oil with your dad or your grandpa, or your uncle, or your cousin, or your brother. Something that, got that fire inside of you going. It's not about just because, maybe you have more money than this guy, you can buy the more expensive car. Because I've seen cars that people have built that are just as nice as any, expensive car you might find at the lot as far as supercar or exotic car. I mean, I've seen some classics that are ridiculous. I've seen some lowriders that are just, crazy. So there's more to it than just buying a car for the name. You buy a car or you build a car out of passion. If you're a car guy, if you're just using a car to get from point A to point B, then you wouldn't understand this conversation. But if you're a car guy, you know what I'm talking about, man. It's being able to get excited about the smell of gas, burning like, ethanol, E85, or when you smell that, exhaust, or that those tires that done just made a burnout, or you hear that V8, with that cam, or that V10, when you could tell a car by the sound when it drives by you. That's a car guy, man. You've touched something in that engine. Your hands at some point have had grease under the fingernails. Maybe you busted a knuckle. You've cussed out a part that didn't want to go on right, that gave you trouble because it was stripped out. You know what I'm talking about. But now if you have a car that you've never been able to touch the engine, and like I said, you just bought it because your guy down the street had one and you thought you would, one up them on the newest model, then hey, maybe you are a car guy, but you can't knock the guy who, spent the last of his check, adding modifications to his car, or he did a backyard build, but he put his all into it. You got to give them guys the same props, man. Not everybody is fortunate enough to buy whatever hypercar that's the hot car or the newest car off the lot. They have to maybe build that thing, and it takes maybe several years. But there's a lot of blood and equity in that car. there's a lot of soul in that car. And that's one of the reasons I like old schools, because of, I don't know, man, it's just, I feel like I'm connected to the car. It's like, it's not just a car, it's a personality, man. It's something in there. It has a soul. And I don't know, I connect with those things, man. I just, you know, I guess maybe growing up and being around a lot of old schools and seeing my grandpa fix up cars that fueled the fire. But I've always been a guy who likes something different. Everything I have, I've had to modify or do something to it. You know, I can't drive anything stock, and I always like things to differentiate from what everybody else is driving. But you know, I just find it interesting sometimes when you do see people, and you know, if somebody's giving you props on your car, or you're at a car show, you know, hey man, you know, even if you do have a real expensive car, be humble, man. You ain't got to be an asshole, man. You know, I remember a guy one time, he had a Lamborghini Gallardo, and I parked my 1968 Cougar at a car show, and it was next to his car, and he didn't know it was my car. And when I walked back up, he's like, who allowed them to park this car next to my car? And I'm looking at his car, I'm like, dude, I'll give you all the smoke. You know, my car is built, and it'll run circles around you, even if you do have a Gallardo. You probably can't even drive the car. You just got the car because, like I said, you got the jacket and the hat as a door prize. You know, don't be bougie just because you think you got something, man. Look, you might not know that guy next to you in that hot rod at old school. His car might be a whole nother level of build, even if you did go buy your stuff from an Italian dealer, buddy. So just be humble, man. Be cool. You know, you never know. You guys might have some common interests. You ain't gotta, you know, shun the next man because you think your car is, you know, so-called foreign and his car is domestic or American or whatever you want to call it. You know, I always give guys props, man. I've seen some cars, and you know, hey, the wing is crazy, exhaust is crazy, but at least that guy is doing something to create his own identity, his own personality, man. I got to give props to that guy. So I just want to share that with you guys, all you car guys out there. You know, whatever you're building, if it's an RX-7, if it's a Skyline, if it's a Chevelle, if it's a Mustang, if it's a Challenger, a Mopar, a Porsche, a Bug, a Ferrari, whatever it is, man. Hey, recognize another car guy, man, and give him a thumbs up. You know, we all in this community together. Big Herc 916.
Go to muscleupdetailspray.com and pick you up some merch.